incredibly good, a good class to help you when you are trying to figure out how to, I don't know, how to manifest that direction that you want to go in life. And then just understanding the process behind manifestation and the fact that we do have to do some healing. And then I'm going to give you some tips and some ideas of how to get that healing going and stuff like that. So, anyway, with all that being said, I am going to go ahead and just jump in. Yeah, I think I'm going to jump in. I was going to say a couple things, but I'll just jump in. All right. So, when we're looking at how to manifest, that's the first thing I'm going to talk about is manifesting. So, you know, when we look at manifesting, there are so many different ways that are taught to manifest. And some people are under the impression that we can just manifest and like we can sit down, visualize what we want, manifest it up, and then it just comes to us. But I think there's a lot of misconceptions with that because I think there's a lot of healing that needs to happen within there. And there's also you need to take some action steps and you need to be able to get the ball rolling energetically in the direction that you're wanting to manifest things. So I'm just going to kind of go into all of that. Then after I'm done kind of going into what is manifestation and so on, I'm going to give you my way that I manifest and see if it works for you. I have my notes here. They're kind of far away from me. I'm debating on if I want to bring them closer or not because I can't see anything, but I'm going to give it a try. So if I'm squinting, that's why. All right, so one thing that is extremely important when we're looking at manifestation is understanding that we are not necessarily manifesting that exact thing that we are picturing. We're manifesting our frequency that we are putting out, and that's kind of the law of attraction. So when we sit down and we go into manifestation mode and we're like, all right, I want to manifest this into my life. Well, we're really manifesting that frequency that you're sending out. So when we go into manifesting, we want to be sure to bring that frequency into it and not just say, yeah, I want to manifest this. I want this to happen. You want to bring that frequency in. And I'll teach you how to do that in just a second. So anyway, the thing to understand is when we go to manifest, we're manifesting that frequency, but also the universe is going to bring to us whatever is best. So I may be like, man, I want to manifest a brand new car. And the universe is like, yeah, no, we're not going to do that. But here's this nice used car that's going to last you years and years. That's $20,000 cheaper. And I might not think that's the path, but the universe will manifest that and show me, hey, this is the way. So I have to listen. I have to be open to that. I have to follow the urges, and I have to be able to understand what the universe is sending to me, basically. So anyway, keeping that in mind, when we're looking at manifesting, we want to make sure that we are detaching from the outcome. So when we go in and we manifest and we say, I want this to happen, you want to not get so caught up on the outcome of it. Now, obviously, you have this want, you have this thing that you're wanting, but you want to get to a point where you say, you know what, I want to manifest this, and if it's in my highest and best interest, and for the highest and best for me, it's going to happen. If it's not, then it's not going to happen. And you have to just be okay with things shifting. While it's like, okay, I feel like this is the best thing for me, well, it may not be. And you have to be open to the universe giving you whatever is right for you and allowing yourself to grow and adapt to that. That's why when you're on your spiritual journey and you're opening up, you're learning and you're growing, it's super good to get good at and okay with shifting and not getting caught up on things. And that's where the detachment comes from your manifestation. Because if you get so attached to that manifestation and you're just like, this is it, this is going to be the outcome, and you think you need to go this way, but the universe is like, hey, it's going to be better to go this way. It's going to turn out much more magical, much more better for you. But you keep driving this way, it's going to be not a good time. It's going to be like you are just going up against the wall all the time, and eventually you're going to surrender and be like, you know what, screw it. It must not have been what was meant to be. and then you go down that original path that you should have went down before, and you ultimately end up where you needed to. That's why I always say don't get caught up on your decisions so much and what you should and shouldn't do, because you're going to end up where you need to end up regardless. It just might take you a little extra time, and if you're like me, I don't have time for that. I want to get right where I'm going. I want to be where I need to be, and that's where listening and opening up to what the universe is showing you and telling you is key. Excuse me. The last time I did a live, I got this tickle in my throat, and I just got another tickle in my throat just now as I started again. I'm going to have to investigate that. All right. So when we look at manifesting a particular thing, so if I'm sitting here right now and I'm like, man, I really want a job, a good job that pays a lot of money that I don't have to work a lot of hours doing. And then I just sit here and I just leave it be and I just say, it'll come, it'll come. Now, it very well could come, but what we want to get in the habit of doing is taking a action step. So we say, I really want to manifest a good job that gives, it's good pay. I don't have to work a ton at the job and I'm just happy there. And then you get on Indeed.com and you start looking for jobs, or you put your resume out there, or you ask on Facebook or on somewhere, just, is anybody hiring? Is there any good jobs that might pay really well and have a good quality of life or a good balance, work-life balance? And you take that action step of doing that. And that is how we get the ball rolling energetically. When that ball starts rolling, it gathers steam. It's like a snowball. It starts real small, then it keeps rolling, and it gets that energy more and more, and then ultimately you get what it is that you're asking for. Now, the thing to understand is what I just mentioned is if you think I need a better job that pays less and blah, 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 and you think that job is going to be like a corporate job or a job on the laptop, every day you get to do a little bit of work or whatever, and that's your vision and you're attached to that, but the universe is like, no, we're just going to have them, I don't know, go drive a car for an hour a day and make $50,000 a year or something crazy like that. Well, we're going to get stuck there, and we're not going to take that opportunity that the universe is trying to tell us, because we get this opportunity of, hey, there's a truck driving job, or you drive a car around for an hour and you just deliver a couple things and you can make $50,000 a year. And you're like, well, no, I thought it was going to be on the computer. I'm looking for a computer job. I want it to be just sitting at my house and whatever. Well, the universe will see that opportunity may be better for you. Maybe you're going to go out in your car and you're going to stop off at a gas station. You're going to meet a guy or a girl or someone that is like, hey, you deliver for this place. I used to do this, and I have this good opportunity for you if you're interested. And you end up meeting them, talking with them, and then you have a much better opportunity than sitting at home on the computer doing what you were doing. You may end up opening up your own business or just doing something much more greater than what you thought you were going to be doing. So always keep that in mind. That's why we detach from the outcome. If I said right now I want a better paying job and don't want to work a bunch of hours, and then tomorrow someone came to me and said, hey, there's this job at mopping up gas station bathrooms for a couple hours a day. You're making $25,000 a year, not a ton of money, but it might be a good opportunity for you. I'm most likely going to be like, maybe I should do that. And then that's when I would go in asking the universe, my spirit guides, God, I would ask, is this something that I should do? And ask them to verify it for me and wait for that verification of when, I say, I'll look into it. And then I call and then the person's like, yeah, hey, we are looking for a person just like you. And instead of $25,000, it's actually $45,000 a year. And then that's a validating thing. So just understanding that you have to be open to movement, because you can always go do that job. And if it's not working out, you can shift focus and go wherever you need to go. But the key thing then is that you are creating movement in your energy. You started something new. That's why oftentimes when we're like, I'm so stuck, I'm just, I'm stuck in this energy, I'm here and I don't feel like I can get out of it. And then all of a sudden you do something new, no matter what it is. You do something new, and then all of a sudden all these new opportunities start coming in. All this stuff starts popping in out of nowhere, and you start to learn, you start to grow, and things start to really take off. And that's because you shook out of that energy and you are now moving forward. You are allowing those opportunities to come in. So Excuse me. With that being said, I want to go the opposite route really quick on manifesting things that we don't want. Be careful. Oftentimes, when I do a session with someone and their throat chakra is flowing really, really nicely afterwards, usually I'll tell them, hey, make sure that you're mindful of what you're speaking because your throat chakra is flowing really well. And their throat chakra, in case you don't know, has a lot to do with manifestation of what we're saying. Those vibrations go out and manifest. So I tell them, be mindful of what you are manifesting and what you're saying because you're going to be easily manifesting. So make sure that you're voicing the good things. Make sure you're voicing that this great thing is going to happen. On a side note, I've been telling a lot of people this because I think it's important. Each day, each night when we go to sleep, we shed millions of cells. And when we wake up, we have regrown millions of cells. And those cells get programmed. So if you're waking up every morning and you're like, oh, fuck, I gotta go to work and my leg hurts and I'm in the same house and, things like that, your cells are going to get programmed and say, oh, okay, we're miserable. We hate our job. The house sucks. Our body's deteriorating. So that's who we are. And then as those cells grow, they start to program into that. And that's your identity. That's your body's identity. That's your energy's identity. But if you wake up every morning and you say, this is good, man. I woke up. I get to go. I get to go to work. I get to go make money. I get to go talk to people. I get to use my legs. I get to use my voice. All that stuff. Excuse me. That is reprogramming your cells to be happy, to be good, that everything's great. So on a physical level, like a scientific level, you are building a body that believes that you're you are in an amazing place. On an energetic level, you're building this energetic bubble of abundance. And this law of attraction is going to happen and it's going to bring you that abundance. So don't discount how important it is for positive self-talk, especially in the morning times. But anyway, yeah, you can manifest things that you don't want. And you can do that by voicing. So when in the beginning stages of my spiritual awakening, I would tell my teacher all the time that I hate my job, that I'm going to this job that I hate. It sucks. I can't wait to get out of there. And she's like, Josh, be careful because you're gonna wish or manifest your way out of that job. And I'm like, no, I'm good, whatever. And I sure as hell did. I manifested myself right out of that job within probably 6 months or so for a goofy reason too. It ended up moving into better things for me, but I definitely manifested myself out of that job. So be mindful of that. Don't manifest things that you don't want. So they say that complaining about things is like praying for those things. So it's like by saying, oh, I hate when I have so much work on my hands. Well, the universe is going to say, oh, they have so much work on their hands. That's what kind of energy, that's what kind of frequency they have. So let's give them more. They must need that. And you end up getting much more busy work and it sucks and, it keeps that snowball rolling. But as soon as you say, you know what, I'm good. I have time. I have enough time. I feel like I am not that busy. I feel like I can just take a breath. I feel good. Think life is good. That's when life starts getting good. It may be a delayed reaction. Ultimately, for me, sometimes things can happen instantaneously, but for me, I typically see things happening after about 2 weeks. I start to see things shift. So keep that in mind. It's not immediate. Some people start doing positive talk or positive manifestation, and then it doesn't work right away, and they're like, well, shoot, it's not working. I must be doing it wrong. And after 3 days, they quit, and it's just not cool. Don't do it. Keep it up. Stay persistent. Talking about detachment, when I was working a normal job, I wanted out of that job, and I wrote on a piece of paper everything. I think it was 10 things that I wanted to manifest. And I would get that letter out every day at lunch, and I would read over those 10 things. and I would just affirm them, and I would feel them, and I would see myself in that situation. And then ultimately, probably after like 3 weeks to a month or so, I stopped and I put them away. It was in my wallet and I completely forgot about it. So fast forward like 6 years, 5 years, 5 or 6 years, I was cleaning out my wallet and I saw that paper and I was like, oh my gosh, I totally forgot about this. I'm going to check this out and see what I actually was trying to manifest. And I am not kidding. I had manifested every single thing, every single thing on that list except for like two things. And I was like, holy cow, this is absolutely insane. What happened is I manifested them. I seen myself in there, but then I detached from that and I let the universe work its magic. And I just so happened to put enough energy into it to keep that snowball rolling, and it worked. So be mindful of that. All right. So, law of attraction is going to give you anything that you are sending out. So, if you're ever feeling stuck, if you're ever feeling like you're not manifesting the life you want, give gratitude. Just give gratitude for where you're at. And when you do that, the law of attraction is going to bring that loving, positive energy back to you, and your life's going to start to get good. I promise you. Meditate and do that. You're going to be in a good place. All right, let's see. So, also, if you can learn how the law of attraction works for you, I call it our energy language because my way of manifesting things may be different than your way. And honestly, it most likely is. So, when you start to learn, anytime I start to do this kind of self-talk, or anytime I start to do these kind of activities, or anytime that I start to affirm how positive everything is, or whatever, you start to see your energy shift. That is learning your energy language. You need to understand how things work. I hit my computer. I always give this example of when I was in real estate. I mean, I'm still in real estate, but when I first started diving into real estate, I was going really, really I was just going regular real estate. I was like putting probably 50% in, and then I got like 4 or 5. I think I had like 9 deals on the board, something like that. So I had like 9 deals going through, and I was like, heck yeah, now things are rolling. I'm going to keep this ball rolling, and I'm going to start cold calling. I'm going to start sending out flyers. I'm going to go door knocking. I'm going to do all this stuff. And out of those 9 deals, I think every single one of them fell through. And I was like, what the hell? Why did everything fall through? And at that moment, I was like, I'm done. Like, I'm not doing real estate anymore. I am done. I'm defeated. This freaking sucks. I was looking at like making tons of money. Now I have nothing. And as soon as I said that, as soon as I surrendered, I had like 4 people reach out that night telling me they wanted to buy a house. And I was like, what the heck? So fast forward, I got a bunch of deals on the board again. I was like, cool. Now's the time to push. And I pushed again, and I started cold calling, door knocking, all that stuff. And you can imagine what happened. All my deals went or fell through, except for maybe like 1 or 2. And at that moment, I realized I'm not meant to be that crazy, pushy energy in the real estate, in life in general. I'm meant to surrender and flow. That's when I realized that. And as soon as I said, you know what, I surrender and I surrender and I allow this flow to happen, and I am just going to let whatever happens, and I'm going to disconnect from the outcome of real estate and just let it happen. I started getting deal after deal after deal, and that is my energy language. I'm not a pusher. I shouldn't push. Are you a pusher? I don't know. It depends. Look at your life situations. When you were pushing real hard, did things go really well? Or when you were in a surrendering state, did things go well? Or do you have to maybe be right in between there? And there's also a common theme where you do have to get a certain point of surrender to be able to manifest whatever you're trying to manifest, because you have to be able to let go, and that's what surrendering is. All right, so when you are manifesting your whatever it is, make sure that you are being very precise in what you want. Don't just say like, yeah, I want a good job. That'd be cool. A good job. Well, the university will be like, okay, yeah, good job, we got you. And they're going to give you a good job that's working 80 hours a week and you're freaking swamped with work all the time. You have no time for your family, but it's a good job. It's a lot of money. So, what you may have meant though is I would like a job that pays a lot of money and allows me to have a good work life balance and allows me to not feel overwhelmed. So, you see, I'm putting all of that out there to define what I want. Now, once I do that, and as I'm doing that, I am feeling what it would feel like to have a job that I don't have to work all the time, to have a job that I don't feel busy, to have a job that I see my paycheck and I'm like, oh my gosh, this was awesome. It was worth it. That is how we move into manifesting and being very clear about that intent of what you want. So keep that in mind, keep that intent where it needs to be, and you will manifest much easier. Another thing that I do when it, when it comes to manifesting is if I feel like I want to manifest something, I'm staying on the same topic as, let's say, a job like that. If that is something that I want or feel like I want, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to close my eyes, and I'm going to go quiet. I'm going to allow myself to just be, and then I'm going to play that situation out. I'm going to play the whole situation out where I'm just now starting that job. I just got the job offer. I'm going into the job and it's, feels good. Everything's great. And then I'm going to keep going down the line to see if it's something that gets old to me. I did that with automotive mechanic. I was an automotive mechanic for a little while, few years. And ultimately I was like, I'm not really feeling this too well. And I sat down one day and I was like, and this was before I even got into the spiritual realm of things really. And I sat down and I was like, all right, what does this look like for me in the future? And I started to see myself and I was like, oh, I start to make more money because I'm more experienced. Things get easier because I'm more experienced. But then I started to see my back hurting and I started to see my knees hurting. And I was reminded of all the older guys that work in the shop where they're limping around the shop because their knees are all screwed up and their hands are swollen all the time because they're using them. They're cracked and dry. And I was like, I don't want that. I don't want to be there. That's not what I want my future to be. So I changed that. Like literally immediately after that, I started looking for a new job, got a new job, and got out of the career because that's not what I want. So make sure you play it through your mind to see what it's going to be like for you before you actually go in and try to really manifest it really hard. Make sure it's something that you're going to want to manifest. All right. Now, it does take time, and there is going to need to be healing that happens. This was a big thing for me. I was always trying to manifest money. Money. I wanted to manifest it. I wanted to have an abundance of money so I didn't have to worry about it like I have my whole entire life. Now, money never came. And I'm not going to go through the whole stories because I've told them a bunch of times, but the money never came until I did some healing. Now that healing was brought up to me because I was because I was trying to manifest money. So by me trying to manifest it, the universe was like, hey, look, we're wanting to give you the money. 100%, we want to give it to you. But you have to clear this limited belief that you don't have enough money. That was my belief, is that I never have enough money. So they said, you have to change that and fix that. Then we can give you all the money you've been manifesting. So I did. I fixed it through past life stuff and I fixed it through inner child stuff. And boom, money started coming in and I had an abundance of money. I never had an issue with money. So that's how that manifestation works. But you may be led to healing. That's why a lot of people on their spiritual journey, they open up to the spiritual side of things and then they say, okay, this is what I want. This is awesome. I want to get here. And then healing keeps popping up. And then they're like, well, crap, I have to do all this healing. Why am I having to heal all the time? And it's not that you're having to heal all the time. It's that you're needing to take care of some immediate needs so that way you are clean and clear and able to bring in that manifestation. Because if you're clogged up with limited beliefs, that energy is not going to be able to flow, and you're not going to be able to properly manifest what you're wanting to manifest. So keep that in mind. All right, let's see. So yeah, I guess let me mention this last part. So when we're looking at manifestation, one thing that's happening is we are bringing in bright white manifestation energy. We're bringing in that energy into our body, and then it manifests out into the world through our chakra system, through our energy, and it says, hey, this is it. So when that energy comes in, it's pure, it's ready to go, ready to manifest, and we're like, okay, I want to manifest this. And then it moves in, and then it's like, all right, here we go, we're manifesting it. And then it goes out of your heart chakra, or it goes out of your solar plexus, or it goes out of wherever. And there just so happens to be a limited belief there that says, I don't have enough money. So you're like, I'm abundant, everything's great, I have everything I need. And then it sends that energy out, and it goes through that filter of, I don't have enough money. And then all of a sudden you get more, not enough money. And you're like, well, what the heck? I've been manifesting money. And the reason you're not able to is because of that limited belief. That's why the healing is so important. The universe cannot give you what it wants to give you until you heal and allow that to move through the body and through the energy. All right. So you must have complete faith. Sorry, I was trying to read everything I was going to talk about. You must have complete faith in the universe, in God, in your spirit guide, in whatever it is that you believe. You must have complete faith that it is going to work. So you manifest and you say, you know what? I know, I trust, I fully believe that God, the universe, your spirit guides, whatever, is going to put exactly what I need in place and get me to exactly where I want to be. And I know that if the picture of what I'm trying to get to doesn't look like that picture and it's something else, I know that it is for the better that I'm in this situation instead of the one that I thought I was going to be in. We have to trust that, and we have to have that faith there, because if we don't, then we get attached. And if we don't, we start trying to manipulate things. We start trying to control things, and we do not want to control anything. There's so many people in so many situations right now, and they're just like, I'm just letting it flow, and I'm seeing what's happening. I'm making sure that everything's, in order, but I'm not going to force anything. And I absolutely love hearing people say that, because that is the way that we should be in life. All right. So let me see. Yes. Following your path helps you to get closer to what you're trying to manifest, basically. So be mindful not to place too many manifestations at once. That is an issue that I had. I opened up to spirituality. I then realized that I can do whatever the heck I want to do in life within physical limitations. If, for me, if I'm like, I want to become an NBA player, I'm most likely, probably like 90% not going to become an NBA player. I'm not tall enough. I lack the athleticism to do the stuff. I lack the coordination. Of course, I can practice and get better, but there's limitations there. Now, if I say that I'm going to, I want to manifest being knowledgeable in, the spiritual side of things, then I'm going to. That's going to happen because I'm able to do that. So anyway, be mindful not to place your energy in many different directions like I did. I was like, all right, I'm going to do psychic readings. Now I'm going to do mediumship too. Now I'm going to do energy healing. And then now I'm going to be a facilitator. And now I'm going to be a meditation teacher. And I put all of this energy in all these different places, and it just did not work out, because this is what's happening. You only have so much energy to disperse before you start depleting yourself and confusing the heck out of your energy and the universe. So when I say I want to manifest this one thing, my energy goes out and it manifests that one thing. That one thing is already manifested. It's there. I just have to follow the breadcrumbs to get to there. The universe already has it played out for me. It's there. But I have to be able to follow, trust, and lead myself, or allow myself to be led to that area, to that thing. And then once I get there, I have that line of experience that tells me this is how I got there. Because the physical existence, we have to have a past, or we have to have a reason why we got to the place that we got. So we have to have that journey. That's why we have that. That's why things don't just manifest like boom and we're all of a sudden there. We have to go through the journey. That's the human experience. So if I say I'm going to manifest this one thing, energy's there, that's good. Now, let's say, just for example, this isn't true. You're not going to be able to give 100% of your energy to that one thing because you give your energy to all kinds of other things throughout the day. But let's just say that I gave 100% of energy to that one thing that I'm trying to manifest. And then I'm like, oh, you know what? This is cool. I can't wait to manifest this. But I feel like I want to become this. And then your energy splits off. And then you're given 50% and you're given 50%. And also the universe is like, hold on, you're supposed to be going, you said you wanted to go this way, but now you're saying you want to go this way. So what way are you actually wanting to go? And then you add another thing on. You're like, you know what, I want to do this as well. Then you have 3 things out there. So you get what I'm getting at. Your energy is going to be dispersed. And the universe is going to be confused because while this thing may be in this category, this thing is in a completely different category. So the universe can't just send you in this way and this way at the same time. It's like you either have to go this way or you have to go that way. You can't allow the universe, or you can't allow yourself to confuse your energy and the universe. So make sure that you are picking what it is that you're trying to manifest. Don't allow yourself to get greedy and just start trying to manifest all kinds of things at once. Pick one thing, manifest the heck out of it, get there, and then manifest the next thing. Because you may think you want to manifest this other thing, but by the time that you get to that first manifestation, you may not even want to manifest that thing anymore. You may be like, you know what, I did want to manifest that, but at this point, I feel like that's not going to serve my best interest. I feel like this is. And then you can reassess life and go to manifest that next thing. So be mindful of that. Don't allow your energy to get spread out too far. So I see a comment, and it's Patrick, and he says, hi, what's up, Patrick? I hope you're doing awesome. It's nice to hear from you. It's been a long time since I heard from you, so happy to see you, and I hope you're doing well. All right, now I'm going to go into how I actually manifest. So this is the how you manifest. So when I go in to try to manifest something, by the way, just side note, someone asked me a little while ago about portal days, like when it's like February 22nd, you have 222, or when it's like January 11th or 8/8 or whatever. Like when you have those numbers, they call them like portal days, and because of the numerology of it, it's basically makes the veil thinner, makes the energy more powerful, and so on. And when you get to one of those days, it is very powerful and useful to manifest in those moments. So you're able to do this manifestation technique on those days, and it amplifies it. So I always first figure out what it is that I'm wanting to manifest. There was a time in my life where I was like, all right, what do I want to do with my spiritual gifts, my spiritual abilities? Because I keep hitting wall after wall. And I was like, what do I want? And I was like, what is the one main thing that I find in my life that is a constant? And I was like, well, I always want to help people. And anytime I'm with a friend, I always find myself talking to them, and it always goes into a deep conversation and me giving them advice or me helping to walk them through something or whatever. So I was like, I'm a healer. I'm a natural healer. So what can I do with that? And I was like, maybe I can become a doctor. And I was like, no, I'm definitely not going to school to be a doctor. Don't want to work those hours. Don't want to do all that. So then I was like, maybe I can be a paramedic. And I was like, no, that's not going to, I don't want to get in that energy. That's a rough energy to be in. So then I was like, all right, maybe I'll just leave it up to the universe and say, I want to help people and be a healer. That is when Reiki energy healing came into my life. And then I said, this is it. This is what I'm going to manifest. And this is where I'm going to go. So anyway, pick what it is that you're wanting to manifest. Then make sure that this is something that you actually want. So play it through your mind, play it through your head, play it through the whole way from the day you get hired to the day you retire, and ask yourself, is this what I want? Is this it? So do that. And then if you still come up with, hey, yeah, this is it, then I want you to get a journal or get a piece of paper, and I want you to write down whatever it is that you are wanting to manifest. So if you already played this new job through your head and it's exactly what you want, go ahead and write down that job. This is what I want, and be specific with it. Write down the details there. I want a job that pays me $50,000 a year. I want it to, I don't want to work any more than 10 hours a week, or I don't know, something like that. I want to be able to work when I want to work. I want to feel like I'm not stressed, and just be positive about it and write that stuff down. So then once you write it down, go into a meditative state. State the purpose of this meditation. So state that this meditation is to manifest blank. So meditation is to manifest a new job. So when you do that, you then you say that, then you say what it is that you want to manifest. So you can even open your eyes a little bit and read what it is that you want to manifest. You say that, then you go into your visualization technique, where you go in, you close your eyes, and then you visualize the perfect job that you want. So, or the perfect whatever it is that you want, whatever you're trying to manifest. So let's say that I'm trying to manifest this job that I've been talking about the whole class. So let's say I'm trying to do that. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to visualize myself in a happy space. So maybe it's me on a beach with my computer and my kids are playing, sunshine, and it's beautiful. I can hop in the water when I want. I don't have to be glued to the computer. It just so happens to be Friday, and I look at my bank account and I just got paid a lot of money, and I feel that goodness. I'm feeling this as I'm doing it. I'm bringing in that frequency of what it is that I'm trying to manifest. And I walk through this whole thing while allowing myself to get into that frequency and manifesting it. And that frequency it's like a pinger out into the universe. It's saying, hey, ding, 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 this person wants this and wants that. And it's molding your existence in that manifestation. So allow yourself to get real specific, visualize it, and allow yourself to get into that frequency of what it is that you're trying to manifest. All right, I'm going to change pages. I want to make sure I'm on the right track here. All right, so yes, so feel the emotions, feel the frequency, and so on. All right, so then you would express that this is what you want, and then you send that off. You feel that manifestation just send off out into the universe, and then you thank the universe for what already has happened. Thank it and say, thank you so much for this opportunity with this job, and I am really looking forward to it. And then you detach. You let go of what it is that you just manifested, and understand that you are going to allow whatever needs to happen. And always act as if it's already happened. Always feel as if that job is already there. It's waiting for you, and you just cannot wait to get there. You're excited about it, but you're also detached. All right. Then you can find a moment each day to get that paper out and read over what it is that you manifested. Unless you remember it, then you can just go over exactly what it is you want to manifest. On lunch, I used to close my eyes and I would just manifest. I would visualize and feel my manifestations that I was trying to manifest. I would do that. And I just did that every day. It took me about 5 minutes, maybe a little bit longer. And that helps to keep that energy moving towards that, and it helps to keep building it, because each time you go in there and you send that energy, that frequency, the universe builds that reality even more each time. So find a moment to do that each day if you can. And if you skip a day, it's okay. Just try to be consistent as you can on it. All right. And then the biggest thing is don't dwell on it all day long. Like don't keep thinking about that manifestation. Also, don't keep thinking that every single little thing that pops up is exactly what you're supposed to be doing, or this is a sign that I need to go get this job or that job. Allow it to come to you, and allow yourself to just relax and don't try to figure it out. Allow it to come to you. Now, if you get a job offer and it's right after you manifested, or just in the journey of manifesting, it's very much so worth looking into. Is that something you should do? Now, you can always work on your intuition, so you can learn to build that your intuition, so you can hear or be able to see or feel into that. You can get a pendulum and ask it yes or no questions on, should I do this, should I do that. You can use tarot cards, or you can just listen to your body's urges. But do that to be able to be stronger at listening and feeling these urges and these things that you're being told to do. And I do have my intuition classes in the comments. If you are interested, it's a $40 class with 33 videos, 10 hours of videos, awesome class. It's there. If you're working towards getting out of stuck energy, there's stuck energy class there, and it's an awesome class. But anyway, let's see, where was I? So yeah, don't think about it all day, and you will be led to it effortlessly. Then you're going to direct your energy into that manifestation any way that you can. Meaning, throughout the day, if you do want to, let me think. So when you're getting in your car or something and you're driving home, you can send that positive energy out to that manifestation. You can remember that job that you can't wait to get. You can send that feeling out and then just detach from it. And you can do that as many times as you want. Just don't fixate on it. All right. So then make sure you're paying attention to your urges and to your signs and your feelings, because what happens is our urges or our messages come through urges and feelings. So when a job pops up to us, we will feel if it is the job we're supposed to have. The issue is we then start to talk ourselves out of it with our logical mind. So we may feel this is it, this is the job, this is the thing. And then your mind's like, but it's 45 minutes away. Probably not worth driving there. And, it only makes $30,000 a year, and, this and that. Just remember, any movement is going to get you closer to where you need to go. So if you take that job and it's not working out and it's not what you're meant to do, you were meant to take that step and get that energy rolling, and the next best thing is going to pop up for you. I promise you. And then signs. You got to pay attention. Synchronicities are all over the place. So if you see a billboard that says, I don't even know, like this job coming to a town near you, and then a few minutes later you see a sign on a little bench or something that says, hey, this job is now in Cincinnati, and you're like, and it's the same job, that's called a synchronicity. You're seeing that and you're like, okay, maybe I should check into this job. And then it's worth just checking into it. Is it worth it? Is it something that may be meant to be? Who knows? Just try to feel into it. And then lastly, do any healing that comes up. You have to. If you don't, you're not going to be able to manifest the stuff that you're wanting to manifest, because you have those blockages and those filters. Make sure to do that. So at this time, we are getting ready to move into healing traumas within ourselves. So if anybody has any questions, put it in the comments and I can answer it about the manifestation. I'm going to get a drink, and then we're going to move into healing traumas within ourselves. All right. So I'm going to get going, and if anybody puts any questions, then I will answer them. But I'm not going to have a big pause in the video. So, all right. Healing traumas within ourselves. So first I'm going to go over what it looks like when we are led to something that needs to be healed. Now, what you'll see is that you might see situations around you pop up. There's always, it's, we always say that what you see that you don't like in others is what needs to be healed within you. And that is a hard thing to look at and understand. And the harder you do, the easier you'll get it, or the easier it will be to understand. But you may see situations happening around you, such as if you need to work on, like if you have a trauma about money, you may start noticing a lot of people talking about how they don't have enough money. Well, that could send you into a thought of like, well, maybe I have a limited belief about not having enough money. Maybe I should look into that. And then you can set that intention, and the universe will bring whatever you need to look into that. But it's basically going to pop up to you, and it's going to be brought to your attention as something that you need to work on. And what you're going to do, anytime you realize that you have any kind of trauma or any kind of limited belief, try to identify where it's at in the body. It may be in a chakra somewhere, it may be in an arm, it may be in your neck, or wherever. But try to just get quiet for a second and say, all right, I see this trauma. Where is it being held at in my body? And see where your attention goes. That can help you later on in this process of things. So then what we do is, if we're looking, there's many different traumas, there's many different limited beliefs, there's many different all of that. Let's talk about a trauma. If we have some trauma that happened to us earlier on in life, or even a year ago, whatever, if you have a trauma that has happened, and it could be in a past life as well, but if you have that, what you're going to do is you're going to go quiet if it's being brought to your attention that you need to work on it, or if it's something that keeps coming up to you. What happens a lot, people on their healing journey, is they'll contact me and they're like, I keep thinking about this thing that happened to me, and like I used to not think about it, and now all of a sudden I'm thinking about it like 4 times a day. It pops up in my mind, and it's not like it's getting stuck, but it pops up. I think about it, I'm like, oh gosh, I don't, that happened a long time ago, whatever, and then I send it away. But it keeps coming up, and it's literally like a bubble. It's trying to come up and pop, and you have to work with that. You have to work towards that. So what you're going to do is you're going to sit quietly with that. So let's say the trauma, the thing that keeps coming up. And last thing, before I keep wanting to go into this and I keep thinking of something else to say, one other thing to understand is a trauma doesn't necessarily have to be some big crazy event. A trauma can be as little as you were in your car seat and your mom closed the door and she went inside to put the drinks down, and you thought you were dead. You thought she was leaving you. You thought you were abandoned, and it was the end of the world. But then she came back, and she opened the door, got you out, and then took you in. That can be a trauma that's being held up in your energy. So if you're getting that trauma that's coming up, go quiet. You're going to go quiet. You're going to allow yourself to see that trauma. You're going to allow yourself to go into that situation in like a third party or as yourself. So allow yourself to move into it however it looks. I always ask for my higher self to come down to me, and I ask for my higher self to go into this trauma with me to help me heal this trauma. So what I do is I go in and I look at it from both sides. If there's another person involved, I say, why did this person do what they were doing? Because now I'm a much higher, I'm able to see it from a much higher perspective, a much more intuitive perspective and wise perspective, usually. So I look at it and I say, why did this person do what they did? And then I look at me and I say, why did I do what I did? Why did I allow this to happen? Or why did I do this to them or whatever? And I look at it and I start to realize that person was a very messed up person. I was just doing what I thought was best. And, things like that. You look at it and you start to try to understand why things happen the way that they happened. And then you let go of that. I send bright white light to that whole situation. And then I let it go and I say, I want to heal this with love and light and send it out to be healed with love and light. And I ship it away. It's gone. And then my emotions towards that trauma are gone. It's still there. I can think about it, but it's gone. I don't think about that anymore. Now, it may take you a couple of times of going into this situation to heal this trauma, but it's something that comes up that does have to be taken care of to manifest. It's just the way that it is. All right, so allow yourself to forgive yourself. Allow yourself to forgive yourself for whatever you need to. Allow yourself to understand why the other person did it. And just be in a place of understanding and being wise. All right, so let me see. Oh, yeah. So finding support is important during these times of healing traumas. Someone like myself can help to walk you through it. Someone like a therapist. Any other people that somewhat know what they're actually doing, you want to, well, not even, you want to make sure that the person knows what they're doing when it comes to trauma. You want to make sure that you are confiding in someone that knows what they're doing. So find that support. And even if it's just talking to some people that aren't going to judge you, I would say friends, but sometimes our friends judge us and our friends can hold things against us and so on. So be mindful of that. But allow yourself to go somewhere and talk about it in like a support group or something and work through that trauma because it's going to make your life better. At this point, when I get into, when I see something that I need to work on, I actually get excited because I know it's going to take me a day or two usually to work on it. And then my life is going to upgrade and everything's going to get much better. I know that because that's the way it works. As soon as you heal that, you heal your past, you heal your present, and you heal your future. And things get much better. So understand that. All right. So also, you can use Archangel Michael if you want through these situations. He can be a good help as well, just calling down his energy. If you're like, you know what, no traumas, no blockages, no limited beliefs, no cycles, no anything's coming up to me, so I must be good. Well, you're probably not. You could be, and that's great. But you can initiate this to where you're like, you can go in and say, all right, if there's anything that is blocking me from manifesting the future that I want, I would like for the universe to bring it up to me. And then you just allow it to happen. My little story behind this is I was talking to someone one time, a long time ago, and I was just telling them how I haven't had to really work on many things. I was like, I haven't been led to work on many things at all. And the person's like, maybe you're just someone that doesn't have a lot of trauma and doesn't have to work on things. You don't have a lot of shadows and stuff like that. And I was like, maybe I kind of feel that way because I don't feel like there was a lot that went on in life. And then I forgot about that conversation. Or no. So that conversation happened. Then I asked my guides, my spirit guides. I said, spirit guides, I want you to bring it to my attention, any traumas, blockages, or shadows, or anything that I need to look at. And then like a few weeks later, things started happening and coming up. And I'm like, why is this thing bothering me so much? And I was like, what is going on? And then I remembered asking to be shown the things that I need to work on. So I went in and worked on it, and now I'm okay. Sometimes it's things that you don't think would affect you. For example, my mom was over, and she was talking to me about, we were talking about chickenpox. And I was like, you actually took me somewhere or had someone come over so I can catch chickenpox, so I can get it over with. And not have to get the vaccine and all that stuff. And I was like, why? I was like, why didn't you, if there was a vaccine, why did you make me go through all that suffering with the chickenpox when you could have just given me the vaccine? Which, by the way, I'm not a fan of vaccines, but I was just like, why wouldn't you have gotten the vaccine? Did you want me to suffer? What was going on? And in my mind, I'm like, why am I even remotely mad about this? I don't give a crap about this. But in my emotional body, I was feeling anger come out. And I was like, holy shit. I am angry about this. And I didn't think it mattered one bit. So I talked to her about it, just like was ask her why, and she was like, oh, it was just a thing that a lot of people did, and blah blah blah. And then I worked on that myself, just by understanding she was just doing what she thought was best. I was fine, everything was okay. I did suffer through it, but like she was just doing what she thought was best, and it's okay. So I released that, and everything's fine now. I'm good. I don't have that emotion when I think about it now. But that's just an example of the things that can be hidden in our energetic body and in our emotional body. So pay attention to those things. So when you ask for, or if you want to work on those things, you can ask for it. You can ask for it to come up. It's usually not going to bombard you with all kinds of things. It's going to have one thing come up at a time, and you can work on it. And you are working on it because it helps clear your energetic field for you to be able to manifest the life that you want. All right, let me see if there's anything that I want to go on with that. All right, one thing I do want to mention, there's a tapping method. I forget the exact name of it, but there's a method of tapping, and you tap in different areas of the body to release emotion. And look into that. Just you can put in tapping for emotions into Google or YouTube or whatever. I think it's like EFT. I don't know, whatever. But anyway, Google it, and you can tap and release emotions that way. It's super beneficial. They do it for many people that's went through really crazy traumatic experiences, and it works tremendously. So you can look into that and see if that's something that works for you. All right, so now I'm going to talk a little bit about how to initiate inner healing. And when we look at inner healing, the first thing that we want to make sure that we are doing is we are paying attention in life in what the universe, what our body is telling us that we need to work on. So looking at limited beliefs such as I'm not worthy or I don't have enough money and things like that, we are going to want to realize that we have that. So like cycles, for example, if your mother, or let's back up. If you find that you have a cycle that always happens, and it's like, let's say it's a cycle of men or women, where you're like, I get a partner, everything's great, then we get verbally abusive, and then we break up. Or we're in a crappy situation for a while, then we break up, and it's always a mess. Now, that's happened like 4 times in my life now. Well, that's a cycle. Then you would ask yourself, okay, you would acknowledge it first. You would say, okay, I have this cycle. Then you would ask yourself, where does this cycle come from? And then you may be reminded that your mother did the same thing to a certain point. Or the TV show that you watched as a kid just told you it was okay to do that because the mother in that TV show was doing that, and so on. And then you can acknowledge that. This is why I have that cycle, and I release that. I let that go. And then moving forward, you make sure that you catch those cycles. You make sure that when you get in a relationship and you start seeing those red flags and you start getting to that point where it's like getting bad, you end it there. And you say, you know what? I see the cycle coming again, and I'm going to go ahead and end it peacefully. And I'm going to go my own way, and I'm going to continue to get rid of that cycle, because what will happen is you'll tell the universe, I'm done with that cycle. I've healed it. It's gone. And the universe would be like, okay, yeah, here's another one. Just to either test you, or it's kind of like a backlog of energy. And it comes in, and then you say, no. You're testing my boundary right now, and I said that I'm not doing this cycle anymore. I'm done with it. And then the universe is like, oh, crap, they really are done with it. So we need to send them what they're saying they're ready for. And you then start to change that cycle. You start to change that pattern. So sometimes just acknowledging why you have a cycle or a limited belief or whatever is enough to heal from it and be done with it. Sometimes just acknowledging it gives you that power to step away from it and say, I'm done with that. I'm not going to do that anymore. And I see it coming. I see it happening. I'm done with it. So make sure that you're working towards breaking those cycles and breaking those limited beliefs, and working on exchanging those negative beliefs or cycles with a positive limited belief or a cycle. So shift that and say, okay, so instead of this belief that I'm not worthy, I'm going to tell myself I am very worthy. I'm going to try to get that feeling of I'm worthy. And I'm going to shift that and allow myself to be worthy. And then you start to become worthy. And that unworthy feeling gets pushed out and it goes away and it fades away and you are in a good place. So allow yourself to to develop better habits and better belief systems and better cycles, and that will help to push that out. Sometimes when we have cycles and sometimes when we have limited beliefs or irrational fears and things like that, it can be due to something that happened in a past life. So if you believe it, then you know. If you don't believe in past lives, then it's okay. Maybe do a little bit of research and just see how it is really a thing and form your own opinion about it. But I healed a lot of things from past life. So we want to make sure that we allow ourselves to be open to the fact that if we go into this cycle or this limited belief and we cannot see where we got it from in this life, it's most likely a past life. So you can go to a past life regressionist. I do past life regressions. You can do past life regressions yourself. There's a lot of YouTube videos that walk you through it. You can go quiet and go into a meditative state and tell yourself you want to see a past life that has to do with this cycle or this limited belief or whatever, and then it'll take you to it. However it works for you, but you're going to need to go in there and acknowledge and understand what happened and send some healing to it and disconnect from that. Bring your energy back from that situation. That's the most important part, is bringing your empowered energy back. All right. And also, when you look at cycles, it doesn't have to be, or limited beliefs or anything, it doesn't have to be like, oh, my mom was this way, or my dad was, or my brother was, or my sister. It can be that your grandma was like that. And it was just passed down and it skipped a couple of generations and now you have it. Ancestral ties linger for a long time. So understand that can be a thing in a past life regression or a regression of any sort, or just doing a soul fragment, a soul retrieval, where you're just you're going in and you're bringing back all of your soul fragments. That can help you to get out of those cycles and heal that cycle from an ancestral person. I know how to do that. You can look up soul retrieval online, how to get your soul fragments back and stuff, and you can do it by yourself. And if you want any help, I'm always here, obviously. All right, so let me see. Understanding that you have the power to change those cycles is important. You have the power in life to change anything you want in your life. And when you realize that, man, this life becomes really, really fun. You have to try to get in a place where you understand that you are in charge. Life is not happening to you. You are a participant in this life, and you can create the life that you want. You just have to allow yourself to do so. And I promise you, when you realize that you are empowered and you can mold your life any way that you want, you truly, truly can, it becomes incredibly fun, incredibly cool, and incredibly worth it. And it is a really cool thing to be able to understand and do. It makes your life so much better. You have the power. Finding the root of the limited belief or cycle is key as well. So make sure you're finding that. All right. So one exercise I want to give everyone to do, you don't have to do it now. I'm not going to walk you through it now, but you can do it at home. Or you are at home, most likely. You can do it when you have time, is what I'm trying to say. So what I want you to do is I want you to get a piece of paper, and I want you to write down just 3. So you would go in and you would write 1, 2, 3, and at the top, you would write traumas. And then you would just close your eyes for a second, breathe for a second, and then ask yourself, do I have any traumas that I need to work on? And then allow yourself to write that down. And that will give you an idea of some traumas that you need to work on. Some things may come up that you don't even understand, that don't even feel like a trauma. Just remember what we talked about. Anything can be a trauma or looked at as a trauma in your mind. Then write down limited beliefs. And write 1, 2, 3 and write down or ask yourself, what limited beliefs do I have? And then write those down. Then do the same exact thing with cycles. What do you need to work on? What cycles do you need to work on? And then you can ask your body, you can go through each one of those and ask, where is this being held at in my body? And then, lastly, you can ask yourself, what is the first step that you need to take for each one of those? So you can have your 3 traumas. On the next to one of the traumas, you would ask, what is the first step I need to take to heal this trauma? And then you write it down. That'll give you a really good idea of how to heal that trauma and where to go and how to get the ball rolling on that. So that is going to be the class for today. If anybody has any questions, put them in the comment section. I do have a couple of really big announcements or important announcements. So anyone that follows me knows that I do the Sunday energy updates. It was every single Sunday I was doing it. I love doing it. But I started doing a bi-weekly mediumship circle. So then I changed my Sunday energy update to Tuesdays. And I was like, all right, I'm going to do them Tuesdays in the morning. It'll work out. And then I decided I didn't want to do it on Tuesdays in the morning because I want to have Tuesday morning to be able to wake up and just be, because Tuesday is the day that I work evenings at my office. So I am going to do the Sunday energy update bi-weekly. So it's going to be every other week. So the week that I'm not doing the mediumship circle, I'm going to be doing the Sunday energy update. And we'll go over it for 2 weeks. For the next 2 weeks, this is what the energy is looking like. Make sure you're doing this and that. And we'll go over what happened over the past 2 weeks and just what's going on energetically and so on. So that is going to be there. I do, for anyone that doesn't know, I have that mediumship circle every other week. This past week, we came in and we wrote down what we wanted, or we asked for, long story short, we opened up the spirit and we wrote down 10 questions. I asked 10 questions and you wrote down the answer to those questions. Then after we were done, we came forward with those answers. And we've seen if anybody in the room had, or if it resonated with anyone in the room. And it was really cool. Some of them did, some of them didn't. Some pieces did, some pieces didn't. This next week when we go in, it's not this Sunday, but next Sunday, when we go into the mediumship circle, I'm going to split people off into a one-on-one group. So it's going to be me and another person, and another person and another person across from each other. And we are going to do a reading on each other there to practice bringing in one single spirit instead of a whole bunch of spirits and trying to figure out who's talking to who. So that's going to be this next Sunday, not this Sunday coming up, next one. And I'll make sure to post that and make sure everything's good with that. Other than that, I do have donation links in the comments. If you would like to donate, it helps me out a ton. And I do these classes for free because I think that everyone should get this information. And I do appreciate any donations. Lastly, I do have my classes, my online courses in here as well, along with my YouTube channel. You can go to my courses, and I have a course to help you get out of stuck energy and move forward in life. I have a course to build your intuition. I have a chakra bonding course, which helps you to get familiar with your energy, helps you to connect to your energy, connect to the universe, your spirit guides. I mean, it is just an amazing program. And I have a mediumship course coming out soon, and that one's super huge. And then I'm going to be building a knowledge base in that in my academy online, where you can be able to find anything on a number of different subjects for free. It's going to be there, but it's, well, let me rephrase that. It's not for free. If you pay the monthly subscription, not all the you can buy the classes separately, but if you buy the monthly subscription, which is only $69 a month, each class is $40. So if you plan on doing a couple of classes, you might as well just pay the $69.99. It saves you money. But I'm going to have that knowledge bank where it's going to have anything you need. It's going to be like you can look it up, anything that you need there, basically. So if you're like, man, I need to manifest, I'm going to go into the knowledge bank and see if there's anything on manifesting. This video, along with a bunch of other information, will be in there, and so on. So if you're like, man, I'm having some anxiety, well, I'm going to go to the knowledge bank. There we go. There's some more videos and information on how to help my anxiety. I'm going to build that, and I'm going to do that. It's going to take me a while, but that's my goal now. So I'm going to do the mediumship class, get that over with, and then I'm going to build my knowledge bank. So stay tuned for that. And other than that, I have my Monday healing circles at the Center for Healing Integration. It is from 6 o'clock until 8 o'clock. It's a spiritual conversation and then a healing circle. We come in, we talk about some spiritual stuff. Who knows what we talk about? It's just something that comes up. And then we go into myself and other practitioners healing whoever wants to be healed. If you're practicing and you want to practice healing, come on in. You can give healing to the 8 to 12 people that's there. And I mean, you're not going to do all of them, but you'll do a fraction of them, and I will as well, and someone else will. And we can give that healing, and you can understand how your healing is spreading, or how each person is different, I guess I would say, when doing a session. So other than that, I think that's it. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay awesome. This next week is supposed to be really, really nice outside. Weather's going to be great. And I appreciate every single one of you watching the live. This is going to be on my YouTube. So if you missed the live and you're just now tuning in, it'll be on my YouTube. And you'll be able to see it there. So again, I appreciate you all, and I will see you next time.